All right. So I think we're all here. It is 6 o'clock p.m. on Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. And I'll call this Barre City Council meeting to order. The council present tonight. I see Councilor Lozon, Councilor Booten, Councilor Stockwell, Councilor Wazazak, Councilor Deering, and I am Mayor Hemrick. I believe that's all of us. Staff joining us tonight, we have City Manager Shirley Castro, Clerk Treasurer Dawes, our real estate agent, and I think our legal counsel, David Brew, is here as well. Manager Shirley Castro, are there any other staff members that need to be introduced?
No, I don't see anybody else on.
This meeting has been publicly posted, is being recorded and subject to Vermont's open meeting law and the council's rules of procedure, which are available online. Welcome everybody who's joining us tonight into this. And since we're all joining online, just keep in mind that if you're not speaking, please raise your hand to be recognized, and I'll call on speakers in order, allowing those who haven't spoken yet to speak first. If you can also state your name for the record, that's helpful for our minutes taker, Clerk Dawes, and if you have any questions about process or procedure, please ask and we'll get it sorted. As always, I want to thank everybody for participating in a civil and respectful way. That takes us to item 2 on the agenda, adjustments to the agenda. Manager Shirley Castro.
None for me.
Members of council. Hearing and seeing none, that takes us to visitors and communication. Are there any items that members of the public wish to speak to about an item that is not on the agenda tonight? And I saw the first hand go up, Joel Mulvaney, and then Bern Rose. You're coming in faint. If maybe if you get closer to the microphone.
My settings, hold on.
Oh, that's great.
Okay, they're up as high as they can. All right, so normally I would not be doing this, but these are not normal times. And this is in related to the flood redevelopment. Our meeting at for the Barre City Justice, Equity, Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee decided that bring this to the council's attention. And this is about the Barre City Equity Assessment Tool that we had adopted a few years ago. After the presentation by the state, were several concerns that we talked about, and we want to urge the city council to direct that this tool be used for any and all development and development plans that may happen in the North End. I did send each of you, council members, a copy of the latest copy, because we, during our meeting, edited a little bit. The latest copy of the tool. There's a companion piece that goes with it that people fill out. One of the things that is definitely needed here is some information and some data from the flood situation and about the redevelopment. And it's generally from this tool, it tries to assess what the nature of the community is that will be impacted by the development, whatever it is. So because of that, we urge you to adopt a practice, or at least put out the practice to people that this be done. One of the things that we'd love to get on to the city council so that we could dialogue about this if necessary. Certainly, if you have any questions, you can email me or any of the other committee members that are aware of this particular tool, because we have a couple of new members that might not be up to speed yet. So one of the things certainly the city might be able to do perhaps is to start gathering this information for developers on its own. And when you look at the tool, you can see what that could be. And it might involve some kind of survey of the affected area of the flood. And that's where we're at right now. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them, or we can get onto the agenda maybe the next Tuesday. The reason that I'm coming now and saying this at this time instead of getting on the agenda formally, which I normally would do, is because we felt it was urgent, considering that this tool really needs to be used at the very beginning, at the very start of planning. So we wanted to get this over to you as soon as possible in terms of our recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. And I did notice that you sent out an email today with the equity impact assessment that I understand has been used on some city policies. I could see this potentially pairing well with a request by Councilor Booton to meet at Barre Manor to discuss some quality of life issues there. Because I've heard some talk of large scale apartment buildings being part of the redevelopment plan. And it might be an opportunity for us to learn about some quality of life issues, what's working and what's not with the large scale apartment buildings that already exist in the North End, some design considerations and any other issues. So that might be a way to pair that up on the agenda. Also want to wish you a congratulations. You must be a proud mom to see your daughter announce her mayoral bid for the city of Burlington. So congratulations on that.
Makes me want to move to Burlington, except that
Not yet, not yet. All right,
so
that
just
takes us.
point out that the other concern I forgot to say this is that the different meetings that the city is holding are very good for folks who want to come out and come to meetings. But when we're talking about marginalized folks in the community, they're not necessarily going to come to a meeting. So that's why we suggested surveys. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. That takes us to Bern Rose. Bernadette.
Hi, good evening. I'm Bern Rose. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, City Council. Mr. Mayor, I want to appreciate the fact that you honored waiting for Councilor Chambel to arrive, and the 4 minutes it took to get the technology fixed is well worth the wait so that everyone could be present. And I just needed to speak to that and to the comments I heard prior to that. And I'm just going to say thank you for waiting and for honoring the importance that she holds being one of our city councilors.
Thank you, Bern. Are there any other items for visitors and communications? All right, hearing and seeing none, that takes us to our consent agenda. So we have a couple of items. We have the city council meeting minutes of Tuesday, October 10th. And we have the warrants of the week of October 18th, 2023. Do we have any licenses or permits, Clerk Dawes?
No, nothing.
Okay. And then we have the ratification of the council's 1010 waiver of event and rental fees for the 2023 Veterans Day parade or use of I think the odd if the event has to be held indoors, right? Manager Charlie Castro?
Yeah, right, the auditorium is the rain date, yeah.
All right. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved, Lozon.
Second, Sam.
Motion by Councilor Lozon, second by Councilor Stockwell. I have to do these as roll call. Councilor Lozon.
Aye.
Councilor Booton. I see that as an ayes. Councilor Stockwell.
Aye.
Councilor Chambel.
Aye.
Councilor Wozniak.
Aye.
Who am I missing? Oh, Councilor Deering.
Don't forget me, Mr. Mayor.
They're all,
I'm an
they're all
aye as
mixed
well.
up. All right, thank you. The consent agenda is adopted. The bills will get paid. That takes us to the city clerk and treasurer reports.
Mr. Mayor, I don't have anything to report except continuing that the next quarterly tax payment is due by November 15th. It follows fast on the heels of the payment that we just had, so I want to make sure that we give extra notification to let people realize that we're coming back on schedule, so the next quarter is due November 15th. Thank you.
Thanks, Clerk Treasurer Dawes. That takes us to our liquor and cannabis control boards. I don't believe we have any items. Is that correct?
Nothing this evening, no.
Okay. City managers report.
Thanks, Mayor. I'll just remind folks that tomorrow's the second Barre Up Forum at the Barre Opera House, 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Be pizza, food, desserts. So hope residents can make it out and have a part in the city's near and long-term recovery.
Thanks for that encouragement. So that again, the time that starts, did you say that, Nicholas?
5:30, Mayor. Yes.
5:30 to 7. That's when the pizza is served, right?
Pizza will be right there at 5:30, yes.
Great. That takes us to our first item of new business, item 8A, a motion to amend the action that council approved on October 10th with respect to the sale of the Wheelock building, city-owned Wheelock building, so as to authorize the manager to execute a contract with a sale price of $155,000, a $45,000 credit to the purchaser for repairs at closing, and providing that the city shall retain the first $25,000 of any insurance proceeds received for the repair of the building, and authorize the mayor to execute the closing documents and a warranty deed for the sale of the Wheelock building, I believe pursuant to the charter and the other legal instruments involved in the transaction. And I think we have our attorney to speak to this, unless you want to introduce this, Nicholas.
Yeah, I'll just be very brief, and David's here with us. This is a result of David's advice on a better way to structure this addendum. It does in total 6 things. Number 1, the seller and purchaser agree that the due diligence period has been satisfied. Number 2, both parties agree that the closing date will be on or before November 7th, 2023. Number 3, the purchase price for the property remains at $155,000, and the seller agrees to provide a closing credit of $45,000 towards repairs for damage to the property. Number 4 is the clause, Mayor, that you referenced about the insurance. We're amending clause 24 of the contract, which will provide that the city will retain the first $25,000 of any insurance claim received. Currently, the way the contract is structured, the city would receive none of that. Number 5, sort of a technical fix to address is that we reinstate clause 24 in the unlikely event that there's another catastrophic damage to the property between now and closing. And number 6 provides that the purchaser agrees to buy the property as is, whereas.
So moved. Lozon.
Second.
There's a motion by Council Lozon. I think Council Jerry might have gotten the second on that.
Fine by me.
Is there any further discussion?
Nicholas,
I don't
will
have
you
a
get
mouse.
the,
It doesn't.
it's unusual.
Sarah, you have a hot mic. Sorry to interrupt, Tom. I
Yeah,
was just,
okay.
Yep.
No, that's all right. Nicholas, could you shoot the addendum over to the council this evening so I can just get eyes on it? I trust you, but we've always had the addendum in front of us as part of our packet. And we so if we could just take a look at that. I mean, just take a look at it before, if you can send it over tonight and then sign it tomorrow morning, that would be fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
We put eyes on it as we voted it. That's the first thing. Secondly, as I said before the meeting, Mayor, I will be voting affirmatively on this motion. I still feel the same way about the reduction in the purchase price and where the purchase price ended up. None of that has changed. But in a conversation over the weekend with Councilor Wozniak, he had wondered whether the 4 original votes would be present. And so I just said, well, Teddy, if that happens, I will vote affirmatively. You have my word. Because to not do that at this point and to do that to the seller, regardless of how the city has handled it, I said, that would just be pretty unfair. And then lastly, if you don't mind, David, I have a question for you. Would you prefer that we rescind and expunge the original motion or amend it so that it doesn't matter?
I don't know. It's sort of a distinction without a difference, I guess. Because this was warned as a motion to amend something previously adopted, I think we should stick with what's in the agenda. Just as a matter of course, you could do it. Yeah, you could rescind something. Certainly, that would be one way to do it. But there's also this mechanism to amend something previously adopted, and that's how we prepared the motion. Okay. So we'll handle it that way. It is we're certainly going back to fix a mistake in an earlier addendum that was approved. The sale price for this property remains the same. There are credits and adjustments just like any real property sale in this transaction. So it's really a matter of course, and there's just going back to fix the mistake that was made last week.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All set.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion on this matter? All right, hearing and seeing none, I'll do the roll call vote. Well, Sarah Fields, did I see you raise your hand? You're muted now.
No, I was just adjusting the screen. Sorry.
Oh, okay, all right. I just didn't want to make sure I didn't
Yeah,
pass you
no,
by. All
sorry.
right,
Thank you.
I'll do the roll call vote in the order that I see on my screen. Counselor Lozon,
Aye.
Counselor Booton,
Nay.
Counselor Stockwell,
Aye.
Counselor Shambell,
Aye.
Counselor Wozniak,
Aye.
Counselor Deering,
I'm an aye as well.
and I am as aye as well. The motion carries. The warrant item is approved. Now I need to get back to my agenda here. That takes us to upcoming business. So I think our next meeting is, I don't have that fixed in my head, Nicholas.
The
Next week?
24th, the 24th, Mayor.
Okay, all right, great.
Yeah. The big item will be the state will be back with some conceptual drawings from Black River. So we're working with Secretary Moore to coordinate their participation again at our meeting.
It's exciting. I don't think I've ever seen the state move this fast on a planning project. So good to see. All right, so that takes us to the roundtable. If anyone would like to speak to roundtable, you can raise your hand.
Move to adjourn.
All right, hearing and seeing none, there's a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a second by Councilor Stockwell at 6:20 p.m. and my dog Primo supports this motion to adjourn. So all those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed? You guys have it. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you, councilors. Have a good night.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Night.
And that's